Are we?
What up, people of YouTube? For the second time, this is the ultimate in Scottish Liberty podcast history. This is the libertarian, this is the libertarian event of the year. I'm going to tell you what happened, right? For some reason, no one was the host of the last live stream, and we thought that the beautiful, lovely Elizabeth was perhaps the host of the live stream because she got here first. There's already 10 people viewing this. That's pretty good, given that we had to change venue. We probably lost half people across the way. Now, not only did we think that Elizabeth was the host, she couldn't hear a single freaking word that we were saying while we were trying to talk to her. She was browsing around Facebook, probably watching
I was sending
YouTube
very important
video.
work emails, actually.
All right. Oh,
yeah.
Well,
all right. Yeah. Sorry.
Yeah. Work. And it was just really funny because we were trying to talk to her, but we couldn't. So then we started to phone her using my Facebook app on my phone. And Tam thought that she could now hear us because we heard her, because she heard us through the phone.
So did I. I was fatigued.
Yeah. But it was I was just as Tam said, I don't even need to shave my hair. I thought the rate it was going at, I was just on the verge of tearing it out. So
he's made a good start.
The point is that we're here now with the lovely, the wonderful, the delicious Sherry Voluntary of the Sherry Voluntary Show, Kyle Anzalone of Foreign Porn.
Foreign porn. Yeah.
Foreign porn.
All right. Foreign porn. We need more foreign porn.
My favorite online.
Fuck that homegrown shit.
As sweet of an intro there, Sherry.
The sexy. The person who's single-handedly leading the movement to save the people of Yemen from starving to death, Kyle Anzalone of Foreign Policy Focus. I mean, Sherry may be gorgeous, but is she saving the Yemenis children? Nope.
Now this is far too much.
Be like, what have they ever done for me? What have they ever done for Sherry?
Yemen and fuck their children, right? Yeah, because I'm a terrible person. I am a libertarian. Right?
There's no Yemenis who've got internet access to listen to your show anyway. So what's the point trying to appeal
there'll be
to
like
them?
one guy who's offended. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's at least like 4 or 5 people in that country who could listen to my show.
Yeah, you're aiming at the wrong demographic, man.
That's probably 4 more than we get.
Telling us here in the West how underprivileged we are and how bad our problems are, so that we've got a reason to actually tune into your show, because we all want to know how badly off we are, and not how badly off people are in other countries. Anyway, the fantastic Foreign Policy Focus, great show. I know it's a great show because they have great guests, and I know they have great guests because I was on it once. So
yeah, you were. What episode 199 of Foreign Policy?
Yeah, you couldn't even give me episode 200, could you, Kyle?
I went to Scott Horton, so it wasn't bad.
You're always like one tier down, Anthony. One tier down.
In the end,
right under Scott Horton.
Right under Scott Horton. I'm gonna kill that motherfucker. He's gonna be ex-host of antiwar.com. And then Kyle will be the #1 anti-war libertarian podcaster in the world. It works for everyone involved.
We've just lost somebody.
We've just lost Simeon, but don't worry, he'll be back. Do you know why? They always come back.
So Liz, I gotta ask you. I heard you've got an issue with Anthony shaving his head. I heard you were like, "Oh no."
Yeah, I mean, you know, it's a school night and I'm really tired, but I just came on here to say you've just got to not do it, man.
Oh,
okay. Tell us why. Give us the case for keeping my hair.
He can keep his hair. I've got a little box there.
I just love hair.
You just love guys.
I'm a hair kind of person.
You love guys with long
hair. The more hair, the better.
You don't think
hair's for girls.
You don't think the fact that I'm losing it so quickly is a case for I mean,
he's rocking the nutkins. I mean, you guys from the States.
Should I be sporting the Bill Bailey look?
Yeah,
is that
the Terry Nutkins look?
I think it's a good look. I think apart from when he wears that "This is what a feminist looks like" T-shirt, that's a very bad look.
Oh God, you don't. Seriously.
Well, it should be. I think
wanna get laid.
Elizabeth
That's
is just. I know I would know definitely not to wear that T-shirt if I was trying to get laid. So Elizabeth, since you've already,
did you have a thing for Terry Nutkins, Elizabeth? You're probably too young to know who Terry Nutkins.
Oh.
Oh, no sound.
Where's the no sound?
I can hear you. I can't hear.
I can hear you. Yeah, they've muted their microphone or some kind of ghost moderator. The ghost moderator's back in town and he's muted them.
Woo. Oh. Where are you at, Elizabeth?
Where? What, in the world?
Yeah, are you in the UK?
Yeah, London.
Okay, cool.
What about you?
Tennessee.
Oh, nice.
They are.
Oh.
We have a problem with the wire that connects the microphone to the laptop. So you guys keep our audience entertained for a while, okay?
Oh, they can hear us. We were just talking about where we are in the world. Kyle.
And what about life? Where are you in life?
Oh. I'm going to have an existential.
Why do you guys suck so badly at small talk, right? Especially the ladies. I mean, you guys are meant to have a reputation for being chatty and things like that. So, Les, we want to know the big... So why don't you introduce yourself? Well, so I'm going to introduce you and then you introduce the organization that you're involved in. Because I don't really know that much about it.
Organization.
Who have we got on the line? No, we can't hear your sound. What up, Scott? Scott of the Ancap Barber Shop.
That's right.
I remember speaking to you recently. Elizabeth Hobson. You're going to have to wait your turn, Scott, okay? You can't just bust in here and think you can take over the whole show, okay? This isn't me. I know that I'm getting my hair shaved tonight.
Fuck you and your amogging.
But this isn't the Ancat Barber Shop, okay? Just because I'm getting a haircut.
It's just a natural.
The Amog Barber Shop.
Just stand in line, okay? Miss Hobson, formerly of the YouTube channel The Liberty Bells, spelled B-E-L-L-E-S, but they had a People's Front of Judea moment where they splintered off into subgroups. I know, I see the ones that are laughing and clapping are the ones that get the Monty Python reference. So you're involved in an organization. You're basically a traitor to your sex. You hate women. You want them to be beaten, assaulted.
Internalized misogyny.
You've got internalized misogyny. So why don't you tell us about your organization?
I am newly the Director of Communications for an organisation, a political party, in fact, called Justice for Men and Boys, brackets, and the women who love them. And
do any women really love men? I mean, they leave their shoes in the middle of the living room. They don't put the toilet seat down. They don't
men
clean
who do
up.
that in my house. What are you talking about?
I mean, seriously. What is actually lovable to a woman about a man?
Oh, I see what you mean.
They're just inherently infuriating creatures.
Well, speak for yourself, Anthony.
I know I am.
This is the kind of show where I can go into detail about what's great about men, but
why don't you?
Why don't you tell us how great we are?
I was being sarcastic.
Well,
personally,
I like the hair. They're really hairy.
They're really hairy. You like the hair. Well, one of them is going to become less hairy tonight, but
I know it's a tragedy.
I can't say who.
Did you know that we're actually? It's not just his head. We're going to do his entire body.
But why do men need justice? Are they not just a privileged class?
No, there are significant areas where men and boys are lacking rights. So you start off. Should I go into a bit of a spiel?
Well,
or am I just going to bore anyone? I don't want to bring down the mood, but...
Okay, well, do it in a funny way.
Bring down the system, never bring the mood.
Talk about oppression in a funny way.
Yeah.
An interesting and informative and humorous way.
We'll give you the Toastmasters test.
In your own time.
You got 2 minutes, and anytime you say or it's like, or we'll go bzzz. just to add a little bit of
No, we won't do
pressure in
that.
there.
We'll just.
Yeah, we're just man-spreading into your time, into your allotted time.
So we've got the very beginning. You start off with only the circumcision of male children is condoned in our society, although it's just as illegal as FGM. And then we get into school, and they've got a feminized education system that tries to beat all the masculinity out of them and leads them to be more likely to drop out and to have problems at school, to get excluded. Then they get to university, and there are affirmative action policies for women and opportunities and support available to women that aren't available to men. And you have, quota systems in the Labour Party and in increasing use in various organisations that are discriminating against men. Then you've got fathers' rights issues, which are the most important issues, with 200 fathers losing access to their children in family courts every day. And then we've got health issues as well. So men are 80% of suicides, and yet the only gendered provision for mental health on the NHS is for women. Prostate cancer deaths have just overtaken breast cancer deaths last year, and the funding is a fraction. It goes on and on. Sorry, that wasn't very funny.
Well, do you know what?
I bet you.
But the thing is, Elizabeth,
there are some feminists out there.
Yeah, I bet you there's some feminists that are pissing themselves.
Yeah.
But Elizabeth, not all women are like that, so shut up. Right? Simeon.
No, well.
Simeon, Simmer Eve, it's time for you, if you can hear what I'm saying, because he seems to have frozen. Simeon, are you?
He's frozen in time.
Ridiculous. Well, guess what, Scott? You don't have to wait your turn. You have officially skipped the queue.
Oh, wow.
The Ancap Barber Shop, a veritable riot, libertarian riot. Tune into their show, but not at the expense of Scottish Liberty Podcast. So,
absolutely.
If you're, but the great thing is they only put one show out every 2 weeks, so I don't feel like they're going to overshadow me. It's quality, not quantity. Tell us a little bit about how the Ancap Barbershop launched onto the scene.
Well, how it started was I contacted a man named Roger Paxton here about 2 years ago, and you may know him from the Lava Flow podcast. Or
yes.
Yeah, he's heavily involved with all the stuff in New Hampshire, and I was a big fan of his, and I got an idea for a podcast, and I sent him a message, and here we are 2 years later. And I actually don't know if I mentioned this to you, but I'm not independent. I'm on his label. I'm on Peck's Liberty.
I'm aware of that. In fact, we were talking about to Roger at one point about joining Pax Libertas, but the fact is we're too disorganized to join anything, so we ended up not doing it. But I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but I guess I'm just, if not,
fuck it, it's our show.
If not, it's like it's not egg on my face. Roger Paxton mentioned a possible appearance of the wonderful Antony Sammeroff at Park Fest next year.
Pork Fest, not Park Fest.
So I am hoping
maybe that's some other kind of thing. Park Fest. Watch you don't go to the wrong one. Hi, hello, Park Fest.
Sorry, the reason why I'm only half talking to you at home is the wonderful, joyous Chris Stefanick of Choice Conversations wants to join in the live stream. Simeon, are you back with us?
I am, yeah.
Okay, cool. Good, because it's your turn to be introduced. So, tell us a little bit about your work. You're on Steemit and you write some interesting articles.
Yeah, I'm on Steemit. I'm a voluntarist and anarcho-capitalist.
Get out! Get out! We don't have any of them here. Right. Sorry.
Don't serve your
yeah, you need to go too, Sherry. Sorry.
All right. Poetry.
Just looks like an anarchist.
Let the dude speak. What are you, Clive Anderson? Right.
He'll keep me right. He'll keep me right.
Go.
Not one thread of my hair has been shaved yet. Sorry.
Wait till he whacks his ass. That's going to be the worst part.
When I said I was going bald, I really meant it. Right, okay, go on. Sorry, Simeon, please continue.
Yeah, I write essays, make memes, write poetry. I am on YouTube, but I've only just started on there. You can find me on steemit.com/@freerangehuman.
Okay, steemit.com/freerangehuman.
@freerangehuman.
At AT or the @ sign?
At.
Yeah, the @ sign.
Yeah.
So, Simeon writes some very insightful articles. He's a philosophy enthusiast. He's been studying philosophy for a great many years, and he has a very unique angle because he's assimilated the ideas of lots of people that not everyone is familiar with, and he's able to bring that particular context to a fresh look at. You talk about various things, psychology, philosophy. What else do you talk about?
Peaceful parenting. I recently wrote an essay on the morality of imprisonment. And,
okay.
Also how justice would work in a stateless society. I also incorporate ideas from Jung and
Carl Jung,
psychologists.
Oh yeah.
And I've recently started studying Austrian economics as well.
Excellent. So Chris Stefanick has joined, but only to tell us that he can't hear a thing. So he will not be introduced.
Love that about.
Now that Simeon's finished his introduction, can I go back to being rude and volatile and just generally disrupting?
Yeah, go for it. Why not? Anthony's had a bottle and a half of beer, so you know, anything could happen.
I don't think it was that. I think it was the more the stress of the late start. So, has anyone got a topic du jour?
Other than your Barnett.
Okay, perfect. Chris Stefanick, unmute. Get that beautiful, handsome visage on the screen.
And he's wearing a wife beater as well. Excellent.
Yeah. He's not quite released the choice.
He is the Kowalski of the evening.
Choice Conversation podcast on how to effectively beat your wife, but he is wearing a wife beater. So, Chris, you have the floor. Tell us about yourself and what you do. I believe that you run a podcast that has got a regular guest that might be familiar to our listening audience.
Yeah, I think you might be the most common guest to appear on Choice Conversations.
I've been on it more than anyone else.
Yeah, it's either you or Wes Bertrand. You know, it's yeah, despite my poor judgment in guest choices, I have a lot of fun with Choice Conversations. It's a personal development podcast, and yeah, it's been a really positive in my life, meeting some pretty cool people, and it's I'm excited tonight to see what that bald head is going to look like.
The choice that I've made to make my life great by shaving my head.
Oh my God, I cannot wait. This is going to be
for those who are not in the know.
If people think I look like Ming the Merciless, wait till they get a hold of it.
Oh my God, you look like him. You two could be like a wrestling tag team then. You know, you'll be, you could go in as like the
wrestling
brothers.
Maybe the
so
tag team.
Chris, given that your show is all about helping people make better decisions in their life,
where does shaving your head come in?
I was actually going to ask. I was going to try and come up with something funny on the spot, but actually, I wanted to ask you, what's the best decision that you made in your life? Is it to start the podcast Choice Conversations?
Oh my God, that's really, really tough. Best decision I ever made in my life. Holy shit! It might actually be, because so many positive things have come out of it. It's like a tree root, you know, that from that there's 1,000 leaves. So I don't know of any other thing than in my life choice that has led to.
Can I just help you along there? What he's actually wanting you to say is inviting him on your show.
Yeah, sorry.
You're floundering around, man. You're just...
It sort of gets there, because like had I not started Choice Conversations, I would never be in this position I am right now. So yeah, on your show.
Yeah, it's true. If you hadn't invited me in the show, this present moment would not be happening. And as we all know, the present moment is all we have. At least like some bald guy. Someone. Oh, Scott.
Yeah, we haven't had him yet.
Speak up, Scott.
This present moment would not be happening, and as we all know, the present moment.
Oh, we're getting some feedback here. I was going to go into some like pseudo-philosophical Eastern religion stuff. Who is feedbacking? I am going to personally eviscerate you. No one comes. Right, good. Whoever is doing it is stop.
We haven't heard from this guy yet.
Kyle. Now,
yeah,
you've got the. We'll come back round to you. Tam has got such poor short-term memory loss, he's completely forgotten all about the introduction I gave you, where we made fun of you for not caring about people from Yemen.
Right. Just like everybody else, you already forgot about Yemen. But I think we were keeping this a little bit lighter, so maybe Trump and Kim Jong-un meeting. That's been a great kind of thing.
There was an official meeting of the World Leaders Mental Health Society involving Trump and Kim Jong-il, two people who clearly have mental health problems. Were able to.
Is he ill?
Is he ill? As in a rapper is ill. They were able to give each other a hug and slap one another's backs and get friendly. Yeah. They had more in common. Anyway, I'm just driving on. I'm just getting on that political correct. I'm just going for the politically correct dollar right now. Well, that's what I think anytime someone criticizes Trump. Having many criticisms of Trump myself, whenever anyone like publicly says something about him, I always think you're just going for the political correctness dollar. So how do you think that Trump has performed on foreign policy, since you're the expert? Yeah, since you're the expert, Kyle, why don't you tell
the people out there? All about
why don't you educate us?
Well, I mean, I don't know if I use the term expert, but, I would give him a D, and that's mostly because everything has been terrible, but this summit with Kim Jong-un has been a really good thing. So that bumps it up from a D to an F. I mean, he's intervened in Syria. He's tried to pick a fight with Assad there. He ruined the Iran nuclear agreement, which was absolutely fantastic. He's continued the Obama policy in Yemen, expanded the war in Somalia and Afghanistan, continued pretty much just the Obama policy in Libya. He's increased support for Israel, mostly political support. So it's mostly been terrible. However, he is willing
Kyle,
to
don't hold back. Tell us what you really think. You know, is he really bad?
Here's the thing. I would just want to ask you: do you think his bombing of Syria was a precursor? Do you think that was a negotiating tactic so that he could get Kim to the table and say, look, Nixon done a similar thing with China. I'm the lunatic Nixon. I'm the loose cannon. You don't fuck with me. And that kind of gets you into a tougher negotiating position. I don't know if he's that smart, but what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think that Trump probably views the world that interconnected. And I definitely don't think that would have worked. Now, maybe when John Bolton was trying to give Trump 200 reasons to bomb Assad, he, said one, those would be that this is going to make Kim Jong-un shake in his underpants. And I'm sure that's something that would, make Trump want to carry out the attack more. So that may have been used as an argument to sway him. I don't think it has any validity and probably wasn't anything that, really weighed into the decision making. As much as people like to paint Trump as just a mindless buffoon, I mean, he did have General Mattis sitting next to him, explaining him the situation and what would happen if he carried out a large-scale attack against Bashar al-Assad, and how that could draw, Iran into a larger conflict in Syria, as well as, bringing the U.S. at direct odds with Russia. So, Bolton and the, intellectually dishonest neocon crowd that largely surrounds Trump, will feed him those ridiculous kind of arguments. I'm sure, Donald Trump is somebody who can be easily swayed. But at the end of the day, on the military issues, you do have general, like I said, able at least to paint Trump a clear picture of the consequences of some of these actions. And so while it's easy to carry out drone strikes in Yemen and Libya because of that, because every single drone strike doesn't have a severe consequence, and the Pentagon could largely just run the bureaucracy doing it, when it does come to the bigger issues like picking a war with Assad or making peace with Kim Jong-un, maybe it does seem like these people may have a little bit more sway, and Trump isn't quite so impulsive and stupid.
So let me ask you a question then, playing devil's advocate, because someone's got to do it.
Mm.
Does Trump not deserve credit for all the... Well, the French philosopher Voltaire said, every man is guilty of all the good he did not do. Does Trump not deserve credit for all the things he did not do that almost everyone else would have done, like with Hillary Clinton and Ted Cruz being dedicated war hawks? I'm not saying it's my position. I'm just saying that someone might float it out there.
I mean, yes and no. Just with the conflict in Libya, in Syria, I don't think Trump really had that much of an option to do more. And I don't know if Clinton or Cruz would have either, just because logistically, the Syrian rebels, who are mostly just Al-Qaeda and ISIS, have lost the war. And so picking a fight with Assad in Syria means drawing the U.S. into a longer, prolonged conflict that will eventually include Russia. And that's just... It doesn't make sense in any way. You could try to paint this magical 4 or 5D chessboard that everybody pretends they have to get a victory. It's just not there.
It's just
although do you think it's a kind of irony in the fact that that Donald Trump's kind of widely regarded as a diplomatic moron, yet he may have pulled off possibly the biggest diplomatic coup in recent times?
Well, at times, yes, but then of course he ruined the Iran deal, which was one of the greatest agreements of all time as well. So it's like, in one sense, he can see the clear picture and understands what the right thing to do is, and then you just move it to the middle of Asia instead of the end of it, and he can't understand it. So it's very odd in that way.
I think he just sees a lot of opportunities to build hotels in North Korea, I think. Yeah.
Right. So does he deserve credit for this Kim Jong thing? I can't remember which Kim Jong we're on. There's so many of the damn
You didn't know the difference between Kim Jong and Kim Wilde.
Yeah, we're on Kim Jong-un here, which is the third, the grandfather, the father, and now the son.
Kim Jong-un and the third. Wow. Right. So what I want to know is, does he really deserve the credit for this?
He deserves some. He didn't ruin the talks, which is what I think most presidents and possibly a President Hillary Clinton would have done.
Go for a beer.
But sorry, can you just repeat the last of that, because Tam was being pissy about me sending him out the room to get me a beer.
Yeah, bitch. Apparently,
he does deserve some credit because he
Tam
didn't ruin the deal.
Credit for getting the beer. I thought it was just good etiquette. I mean, it's my event.
But at the same time, he hasn't been the main person facilitating it and pushing it. I think that has been the Koreans and the two leaders there, Kim Jong-un, and primarily Moon Jae-in, who is the newly elected South Korean president. And pretty much as soon as he took office, he lightened up on the rhetoric. Then the Olympic Games happened, and Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in take advantage of that and continue to have talks. And even when Trump backed out of the summit and almost ruined it, Moon Jae-in immediately Moon Jae-in immediately has talks with Kim Jong-un, and that's enough to get that thing back on track. So it's really the Koreans that are pushing for the peace, but Trump hasn't ruined it.
He didn't come around like one of those people who's losing at a game of chess and just...
Here you go, princess. Do you want me to fucking drink it for you as well? Right, okay.
So now, Sherry, I've got a question for you. Unmute.
What?
Don't... you're talking at me, but I can't hear what you're saying. You weren't expecting it.
I'll talk.
I've got once more, please.
Once more with a feeling.
With feeling. One more time with feeling. What did you just say?
I just said I have to mute myself or I'll keep talking. So I had
I'll let us do it.
Yeah, please. I've got a really important question for you, and it goes really right to the heart of what Scottish Liberty Podcast and your show and the libertarian movement is really all about these days,
Lord.
which is who will build the roads?
My roads. Yeah.
Who will build the roads, Sherry?
Oh God.
Domino pizzas.
Yeah.
Oh, don't ruin the punchline.
Oh, sorry.
I love
Thanks for
that. I love the Domino's thing because
You
you know, it's
report
not
on
only a great marketing tool that they're, you know, doing a little scheme there, but it's that it's so dissident. It's like undermining the authoritarians, right? They're just saying you're so shitty at doing your job that we, a pizza company, are going to do this job. So now if Domino's, they're fixing their roads. Now if they just fix their pizza, on point.
Oh, yeah.
That's
No,
great.
I'm with you on that. I really don't like Domino's pizza. And I never understand why people order pizza from Domino's. It's like it's more expensive than the local place, and it's usually shitter. So if I move into an area, I'll have to try each of the local pizza places on rotation until I find the one that actually does a good pizza, and I'll stick with that over Pizza Hut or Domino's any day.
So the guys that are drinking
little guy.
Foster's Gold,
Yeah.
which is like really
Classic.
shit beer.
What pizza do you like?
Mm.
And that's an important. Before you go on, Chris Stefanick, 1 second. Unmute your mic. Pineapple on a pizza, yes or no? Since you're the choices man.
Pineapple and pepperoni. So that's the key. Most people go with pineapple and ham. You got to go pepperoni, and I actually like some peppers and onions on there too, but that's optional. You know, the pineapple and pepperoni though is phenomenal.
Definitely some dead animal on there though.
Make the choice.
Absolutely, yeah.
The slogan for Chris Stefanick's show is "Make the choice to be great." A bit imposing. Like he says the show is about like making your own decisions and choosing what you want, but he wants to tell you to make the choice to be great. That one bit isn't your choice, right? You have to do what Stefanick says, right? But he's now imploring you to make pizza great again. Sorry, make the choice. Make the choice.
I don't know if you guys have seen Mance Rader's newest meme with the pizza Pringle chips with pineapple on them.
No, but we're hoping that Mance will drop in for a while tonight as well. So why don't you tell us about his meme?
It
sounds terrible though.
Just what I just said. It's pizza chips, you know, the Pringles,
right.
and they have little pieces of pineapple on top.
Oh,
I'm
right. Oh,
I love pineapple on pizza. You're
the pineapple on pizza. You're the cheerleader for pineapples on pizza.
I love it.
Well, I know that there was a time when I liked pineapple on pizza, but it's been so long since I've had it. I need to.
The only thing I don't want on pizza, I've got to say this, is anchovies. I think they've got no business being anywhere.
Mushrooms are necessary.
Mushrooms
in pizza are life.
I got an anchovy once by mistake, and I've never vomited so much in my entire existence.
Yeah.
It was incredible.
Fish just doesn't belong in the food groups. It needs to go. And like,
well, it's practically a vegetable.
Chelsea,
tacos, like that's a big thing here. I don't know about over there where y'all are, but fish tacos here.
I love it when you say y'all, darling. It makes my heart melt.
Y'all, darling. My producer, Dan, just said that he loves fish tacos. And this is why he's a terrible human being, aside from being a libertarian. Because fish tacos, that's just, he probably eats corn tortillas.
That just sounds like all kinds of wrong to me.
That's why Mexico is wrong America. Fish tacos.
That's why we need a wall.
That's why, well, they're all trying to escape the fish tacos.
We need a wall to keep the fish tacos out.
Keep them out.
Important, folks.
Mexicans can come in, but their shitty fish tacos have to stay.
Okay.
Right, well, you guys have had your turn now. I'm going to turn to Scott D. Lufty of the Ancap Barbershop. Stand up and be counted. I've got an important question related to Ancapistan. Is it true that child labor laws are ruining this country?
All right. So first of all, I want to let everybody know that I'm dealing with a little bit of anxiety. Just it kind of goes with podcasting for me, and I kind of feel like I'm not being acknowledged enough. And
all right. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little bit like emasculating.
Okay.
But I actually
should there be a law against that? Would you advocate for a law in Ancapistan against emasculating podcast hosts in a live stream.
Yeah, in a privately operated court system, that doesn't sound terribly unreasonable to me. But
Right.
I'm kind of muffed about the Domino's thing. I'd like to defend Domino's if that's okay.
Please
For
do.
just a second, let me say this: Domino's fills a niche in the market that is very important. And I live in Huntsville, Alabama, and there,
Serves you right.
yeah, there's good pizza here, but you're not going to get some guy to bring it to your house when you're drunk and you want it fast. But
Yeah,
but
you need MSG in your pizza as well.
exactly, that's a
Well,
component.
Michael Schenker
But I'm
did.
just going to help everybody else out a little bit on the Domino's thing,
Right.
and then I'm going to pass it. Here's what you do. You
Okay.
get a handmade pan pizza, you double up the cheese, and you get the Philly steak meat, and you're set. Once again, it's a very specific situation. Drunk, you don't want to get out and drive, and you want it quick, and you don't want to spend too much money. So I'm very.
I thought drunk driving was
Right,
practically obligatory down where you are.
We have a new guest, but before we go on to Owen Meason of Og Meason channel, you know, you'd think that he'd make the name of his channel OMG Eason,
Oh my
like
God,
so that
yeah.
he'd have that joke in there, like, oh my God, it's me, Eason. But no, just to fuck you up and make you confused, it's OGM Meason. No, you don't get to explain yourself yet. Stay muted, because I still need to find out from Scott D. Lufty what his views on labor laws are and why, as an anarcho-capitalist, he thinks that small children should be working in factories.
Well,
Wait, before we do that, I just want to say goodbye to Kyle, who's exited the call. Thank you, Kyle, for joining us. So, the quick rundown on why we should let small children work instead of go to school.
Well, I don't know. I can defend some things in the past. You know, I don't think culturally. Well, first of all, we're not in a third world country. I don't think economically it's necessary for children to work here. There was a past when there wasn't even the thought of having any kind of restrictions against children working, because if the kids didn't work, people starved. But now things are better, and I'd like to think.
Well, it seemed to go all right for the big fat cat capitalists that owned the factory. They seem to be doing all right out of the deal.
Right. And I just, like I said, I think culturally it's not necessary, you know, for us to have children work.
But don't you think it's pretty good to send kids out to the factory to learn how to photocopy all our papers? Because let's face it, no adult wants to photocopy papers, but you just palm it off to your daughter or whatever, and she's like, oh yeah, I got a job, yeah. And they are so enthusiastic about it. So what I think that we should do, well, bye-bye to Elizabeth as well. Oh, I'm sorry that we didn't get her to speak a second time. But there
gone.
but it serves her right for leaving early.
Obviously, well, she had to. She's got kids and stuff, and she can't stand the trauma probably of you losing your hair later on.
I know, she does love my hair, so she was the one supporter. Sorry, I need to say a big hello and thank you to our special guest, Og Meason, Owen Meason, and please unmute. Stand up.
I'm unmuted, mate. I'm here.
You regularly live stream on all sorts of issues. What is your shtick?
What's burning your toast?
What's the kind of thing you tend to talk about?
Veganism, peaceful parenting, libertarianism, sort of anarcho-capitalism sort of thing.
Well, you just came in the right time, I have to say, because the evil Chris Stefanick, of exploiting as many animals as he can and sending them to the slaughterhouse, was just advocating for pepperoni and pineapple.
Yeah, I heard that comment.
All right.
You know what else I'm advocating for?
Right.
I'm advocating for some fucking hair hitting the floor. Why is your hair not hitting the floor?
Cruelty to pineapples.
Shall we
Never mind cruelty to pineapples.
Before you we do the first shave. Shall we shave?
Yeah.
Shall we shave some
Any
shit?
preferences for which part of his shit will shave first?
Right, let's have the vote. Which bit's getting shaved first?
You've got to have a mullet. You've got to shave it into a mullet, you know, throughout the evening. So you just got a big.
I thought it was right. Okay.
He's kind of got one already.
So, well, top and sides, just gradual, you know, kind of.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Let's do the first cheer.
And then maybe some gel to get that thing going. You could get the pump rock.
Oh yeah, I don't know. Some scaffolding, maybe. I don't know. Never let a man who's been drinking cut your hair, but here goes.
I can't believe this is actually happening. This is history, motherfuckers. Jesus Christ. I can't believe I agreed to do this.
Okay, listen to this shit.
Come on, do this.
Listen to... No, wait a minute. Hang on a second. Listen to this fucker. That's some serious shit. That's like a fucking road drill. Listen.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Does that remind you of anything that you own, Sherry?
There's just no need for that. That's
Sorry, so low.
No.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Oh my god.
Oh, you're sore.
No.
Oh shit.
It's funny. Okay, I think that's enough.
No.
More later.
It's coming off. Bah.
Right. I thought we were going to do it in stages.
That is. Yeah. There's plenty left. Don't worry. There it is. There it is.
There you go.
I can't switch the bastard off. There we go.
Right, okay. There we go. There's no turning back now. I mean, I'm not fucking going out like this. Right. What do people say?
Was that thing petrol powered or something?
Right. You need to give your maybe it's just old fashioned. You need to give your hilarious the thing is Owen, and you need to give a funny account of why of why it's wrong to have pepperoni on a pizza with pineapple, because this is your ultimate challenge. We've seen you given very logical, well-reasoned arguments for why people shouldn't eat meat. You impressed the fuck out of that guy T and gave him pause for thought when you wiped the floor with him in a debate. But now you flattened him in a debate, and you gave the case for why libertarians shouldn't be consuming animals. But can you?
So we're extending the non-aggression principle to animals, basically.
Yeah. Can you do it? Can you do it hilariously though? That's the question.
I don't know about that. That's a bit of a, you know.
Maybe just make fun of them for being murderers and genocide committers. That's a good place to start.
Yeah, that's the ironic thing, you know. The sort of, you know, the socialists kind of put us in gulags and all of this sort of stuff, you know, the totalitarian authoritarians, they, you know, but really, if you think about it, if you eat meat, have you got that much of a leg to stand on? I mean, 3 times a day.
No, if you eat,
some people,
eat your own leg.
You know, yeah, that's a good, you know, yeah, that could be a problem.
Yeah. Sorry.
But yeah, no, it's hard to I find it hard to make sort of jokes about it.
I understand that, but Owen, we did just make fun of the people of Yemen starving to death at the beginning of this live stream, and how despite it happening, no one seems to give a fuck.
Look, mate, I'll just be clear with you. I just don't want to get Tommy Robinson, if I'm perfectly honest. You know.
What happened to Tommy Robinson?
Well, he's in the jail. Yeah.
Thought crime.
How long have you been vegan?
5 years, about roughly.
And what age are you now?
29.
How could you spend 24 years of your life massacring children?
I know.
That is sick.
Mate, I had to repent. I had to confess my sins, go to the Church of Veganism, you know, bow down to the cult. But, you know, I'm fully integrated to the cult now, though. So I've kind of, I'm cleansed.
Okay, so you're repenting by waving your finger at others.
Yeah. I've got to do my, you know, I go around to people's doorsteps and knock on their doors and, you know, bore them to death. And
Offer them a tofu sandwich or whatever.
Yeah, that's it. Give them some plain tofu on a plate, cold plain tofu on a plate, and just show them the wonders of the lifestyle.
One of the best way to convert people to the lifestyle, which ironically is also what kinky people who like swinging call their way of life, the lifestyle. So you never really know what Owen and I mean when we say the lifestyle, given that we clearly come into both categories. So, and yeah, when I say we come into both categories, I don't mean that we're bisexual. Just for anyone who that thought crossed your mind. Not that I'm insecure or anything like that. No, like, but so has there been a topic du jour or news story that has been of amusement to you? And by the way, please do check out Owen's excellent debate with that guy T, another prominent libertarian, on his channel. Ogmeason, and check it out. It's worth watching.
Funnily enough, it's not on his channel anymore.
Check it out on Owen's channel. Please watch it. And if you disagree with his arguments, you can post comment rebuttals.
Come at me, bro.
And he is not quite famous enough yet to not have time to reply to your arguments as long as they're well reasoned. But that might change, because he is on the up and up, a rising star. So,
so can I have a kind of funny story?
Go for it.
Kind of an interesting story about pizza that involves free markets.
Is this Pizzagate?
Yeah. So I'm spending the night at Drew Sample's house, who's a libertarian podcaster. And he's telling me how he's got this side gig where he delivers pizzas. He owns his own business, but he needed a new roof on his house, so he had to take up a side job for a little bit, right? So he's delivering pizzas, and he gets a call to deliver a pizza at like 1 a.m. to like the most ghetto, rough section of Columbus, Ohio. So he's like, oh shit, well, okay, here we go. So he's delivering this pizza 1 a.m. to the ghetto. He goes up, knocks on the door, bang, bang, and nobody answers. You can hear inside a little kid being like, Mom, there's somebody at the door. Mom, there's somebody at the door. No answer. He doesn't hear the mom answer. So he's like, oh man, this woman ordered a pizza drunk at 1 a.m. and passed out. And so here I am. So he knocks again, and meanwhile he looks over and he sees these gentlemen of this is in a total black section of town. So these two black guys are walking up, and they're walking straight towards him. And he's like, okay, what do I do? So he's like, he goes and gets in the car. He locks the door. So he's getting ready to get out of there. And like, as he's pulling out of the driveway, they come up and they're banging on the hood, like, stop. And so he stops and he like opens the window like an inch.
Because that'll help, won't it?
Right. Well, this is just, they won't be able to get a bullet through that little.
Yeah, exactly.
And he's like, is there a problem, sir? The guy that is saying this to Drew, right? And he's like, well, I'm just trying to deliver this pizza. The woman's not answering his door. And he's like, well, no, actually, I'm sorry, let me backtrack. That isn't how the conversation went. He's like, so Drew opens his window an inch, and the guy's like, look, we're not trying to rob you. We're not trying to rob you. He's like, look, I got my own money. He's like, pulls out this wad of cash, like this wad of his bills. He's like, we have our own money. We're not trying to rob you. We don't want to rob you. And he's like, so you're trying to deliver a pizza here? And he's like, yeah, the woman's not answering her door. He's like, hold on. He's like, just wait, don't leave. Hold on, right? So the guy goes up to the house and he's like, bam, 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 your pizza's here. And so, like 2 minutes later, the woman answers the door, right? And so the guy comes back up to Drew and he's like, he's like, here's some money. He's like, let me see the pizzas, So he takes the pizzas and he goes up and delivers the pizzas. And he comes back and he's like, here's a tip for your time. He's like, I'm really sorry this happened. And he gives them like a $10 tip, and he goes, I want you to go back to the pizza shop and tell them that you're welcome in this neighborhood. He's like, we like pizza here too. We want you to come deliver. He's like, tell them you're welcome here. We'll make sure that you're getting tipped. It's good. Come back. So this was he's like, that's kind of interesting. So then the next day, meanwhile, the police are like supposed to be securing these neighborhoods, but they're not doing anything. But these people just took it upon themselves. They're like, you know, this sucks living in the hood. Let's clean it up, right? These are clearly businessmen, you know, they're going to spend a lot of cash, but they took it upon themselves to clean up their area because the state wasn't doing it, right?
Yeah.
So the next day, I'm meeting up with my cousin. I'm from Ohio originally, actually. I live in North Carolina, so I took a trip home to Ohio, and I'm like all along the way, I'm like meeting with people like that are fans of my podcast, friends that I've met. So like Drew Samples, a podcaster that I've had on my show, I've been on his show, and I've got family there.
You've had a really great guest on his show too.
Yeah. so
yeah, he's had a good guest on his show. Is there any show that I've not been on? That's the question.
Well,
I've been on Ogme's.
Let me finish, and then you have the mic back.
Yeah.
So the next day, I'm meeting up with my cousin in this really nice section of town. And my cousin, he's like, you know, like upper middle class, an engineer. And we go walking at this park. It's beautiful. There's like white people everywhere, not a black person in sight, and just really like, you know, upper middle class kind of area, beautiful homes everywhere. And we're walking through the trails of the park, catching up. And this guy comes up to us and he's like, hey, just wanted you to know somebody got mugged up ahead. So, you know, the police are looking for them. If you see somebody wearing a gray shirt or whatever, look out for them, whatever. Just be careful, whatever, you know. And I already told my cousin the story about the pizzas, right? And I look at my cousin, I'm like, dude, what the hell kind of place are you taking me to, man? I'm like, I'm about to go back to the hood and order some pizza. So,
yeah. Yeah,
that's what happens. You know, the free markets, they'll secure stuff, but if you leave it to the state, you're getting mugged in a nice section of town. That's my story.
Judge a book by its cover just because it looks
or a pizza
like
by its
box. Just because it looks like the nice area.
It's time for more hair, I think.
I think so.
Exactly.
But before we do that, one thing about the pizza, Elizabeth, who unceremoniously left the chat, has the audacity.
She flounced out.
She has the audacity to want to contribute to the discussion, and has gone.
So
she's
like
gone.
A woman.
I know, so like a woman. And she's gone as far as to send me a Facebook message to say, by the way, if you see this, tell the lovely people. Oh, she did call us lovely though. Tell the lovely people that the answer is pineapple jam on a pizza. No shit. So you need to get yourselves a can of a jar of pineapple jam.
Oddly enough, LizHobson.com, purveyor of fine pineapple jam.
Find Elizabeth. So is pineapple jam ethical? Right, where were we? Are you getting more beer?
I'm gonna get more hair off you.
I was hoping he was gonna get more beer. I thought.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Actually, do you know what?
The sideburns are on the door.
Look at that! Stylish. I look
that is
I'm actually trying to look like a social justice warrior. Woo! I kind of like the shaved down one side. Maybe I'll just keep it like shaved down one side.
It's just looking good, man.
Then you can do cameos inside.
You look like Annabelle Lamb from Go Wild in the Country. What was that band called? Okay, that's enough for now.
Well, a little bit more.
A little bit more.
No, that's good. Yeah, a little bit more. I like it.
Go Wild in the Country. What was that band called?
Woo! I'm starting to see how shapely my head is.
You're now ready for a role in the next Blade Runner movie.
Jesus Christ.
Can I say, ladies, for all you ladies out there, his locks of his hair are available at popular prices. If you wish any, we can mail it to you.
Oh, I like the feeling of it. It feels nice. Jesus Christ.
I think it's going to be...
It's my own head. I'm going to get some beers.
He's going to get some beers. Jesus, oh, thanks for leaving me with the folks. Okay, here's got another story. Sherry baby. Unmute yourself.
What the deal is with the Russian flag?
Oh, wait a minute. Okay, wait, say again.
What's the deal with the Russian flag? We got to hear the story there.
Oh, yeah. Okay, give us the Russian flag. What the fuck are you doing? Coming on our show, waving that communist piece of shit around. I'm going to grass you up. Is McCarthy still alive? I'm going to tell on him. telling you.
so.
We call him Uncle McCall.
Uncle. I wanted to ask, who is it in Alabama?
Scott.
Oh, you're going. Hello.
Hey,
Hey, what's your name?
Scott. My name is actually Scott McDonald. Scotty Luffy is my Facebook name, and it's not really a moniker. It's a weeabooism, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. I was wondering, where are you in Alabama?
Rocket City, Huntsville. You're in some part of Tennessee.
Okay.
I know, right? Knoxville. That's right. Okay. I don't know how long it's been since Will Coley moved to Knoxville. Did you know him like IRL perchance?
He moved like right after I got involved around here. So.
Okay.
Anyways, the commie flag.
Yeah, the commie flag.
I had a question for him, but the moment has passed because you fucked it up, Anthony. Anyways.
Always does. Get off my show. You're never coming back. Your participation in the show may be voluntary, but my hosting.
I want my money back. I'd like to speak with the manager, please.
I'll give you every penny of money that you paid me to appear on the show.
I want entry.
Sherry back. However, I will not refund money rendered for other services.
I have to tell you that I don't believe William Wallace died for this. Like, really? he did not die. Make his sacrifice, his great and momentous sacrifice for you.
No, he just didn't make it for me. Period. I think if he was here today, he'd probably be a raging red. He'd be redder than your hair, Sherry. But
I don't think so.
You think he would have been a liberal, a classic liberal, a libertarian-minded fellow?
I think he'd probably have been in the Green Party.
Green Party? Oh wait, your Green Party might be different than ours.
No, I don't think so.
So my flag.
Your flag. Give us the flag.
I have a 15-year-old son who is 6.
No way. You must have had them when you were like, what?
15, 16 16.
Yeah, darling, that flattery's pretty nice. I'll take it. So he, being the son of an anarchist, he has to rebel.
He needs to rebel by becoming conservative.
He has to find novel ways of rebelling.
This was hanging over my bed one evening as I went and flipped on the light, and it was like kryptonite. And then he also bought a pocket watch that has a sickle and hammer on it.
Owen, don't you think she should have just spanked her child more, and then he wouldn't come out as a left?
I know. I should have
maybe she'd implied some more stern discipline.
He's a lot bigger than I am now, though. Like he's, like I say, 6'5", but he's like this big around. So I think I can take him still, but he's pretty strong, and he's got like a 10-foot reach. So I'm windmilling at him. And
what was he, an orangutan? What the fuck?
Very tall. His name is Ronan. Yes, he's got So.
Well, after the movie, or after after the Irish guy that sang with that boy band? No,
yeah, it's an Irish name. Yeah, A-N, not I-N. Yeah.
Okay.
But I did have a story that's been pissing me off. If you want to hear that,
let's hit it.
What's on your
favorite?
There's one of those stupid videos going around by some liberal cunt who thinks that a man holding a door open for a woman takes away her agency. And I got to tell you, if you're the kind of fucking idiot woman that thinks your agency is taken away by someone holding the door open for you, just kill yourself now. Okay. Spare us. You don't speak for me. Okay. So I don't mind.
Do you want doors open for you though?
Oh, hell yes. If I'm with you, you better open the door for me, son, because I expect it. All right.
Oh, really?
Sherry, if you want doors open for you, we're pretty big on the libertarian scene, and we do have a nice couch. But my other point was, you actually said like you quite like the idea of that. That wasn't the way that joke was meant to go. I thought you were going to be hashtagging Me Too all over the joint, after me.
I hashtag me too, but only to like things that are opposite of that or things I like. You know, I hate that whole Me Too movement too. But
yeah, me too.
But you know, like there's real instances of problems, like in anything, racism, sexism, whatever. There are real instances of that. Yeah. But to go around looking to be a victim in everything, it's just a sad state of womanhood.
Bending over backwards to be offended.
Yeah. And it's like they're not like oppressed black women in the ghetto. These are white, middle-class, bougie women who have gone to, you know, Sarah Lawrence University and learned about.
But you know what? But then they were on the subway, and some guy did open up his legs and take too much room, and I just think that is a sincere imposition on their personal space.
But you're saying the middle. That was the suffragettes, though. These were all middle-class, privileged women as well. That were most of them that were suffragettes.
Suffragettes, man.
Like,
the insufferable suffragettes.
I just want people to be people to each other, okay? My vagina doesn't make me a special class where I get to, you know, tell you and all.
Well, yours does, but most women's doesn't.
It's pretty special. But, that's for another show. A different kind of casting thing.
Yeah. Okay, do you do that in your spare time?
So,
gotta make the bills. Gotta make that bank, right?
So, a harsh rebuke of women who are stern about men opening doors for them. You suggested that you actually promoted suicide. That's a first for the Scottish Liberty Podcast. I mean, we have said some things, but I don't think we've ever encouraged anyone to commit suicide. But if Sherry is available for personal consultations, if you happen to be in this class and need some counselling, if you're not sure whether you want to go through it or not, she can push you over the edge, so to speak. And you can find her.
I can give you
on Facebook under the name of Sherry Voluntary. She's got a most wonderful avatar, which is a cartoonized version of herself wearing a hat and a fedora with the most beautiful red lips. And you can find tell us about the Sherry Voluntary Show, right? Because you were in a different class from us, right?
Enjoy that while you can, because you're not going to really do that shortly.
Why must you hurt me in my tender places?
You're going from skullet to mullet.
Oh,
not a good thing.
The skullet, yeah.
Right. Okay. So Sherry, you were a class above us in the sense that you were overprivileged. No, I'm just kidding. In the sense that you were on the radio. Can we have an ooh, please, for people on the radio?
On the radio.
You were on the radio. Yeah. Sherry's so much better than us. She was on real radio. She was a real radio libertarian broadcast.
Were you a shock jock?
Do you know what the thing is about being but the great thing about being an independent broadcaster is, do you know what it is? You can't get fired. However, Sherry did get fired. So
what's the story behind that?
You know what show hasn't been cancelled yet? Scottish Liberty Podcast, right?
Well, Sherry Voluntary Show.
Wait. Owen's got a show, but his show hasn't been cancelled, right? Chris, he's got Choice Conversations, never been cancelled, not once. Even Scott D. Luffy, 2 years into the Ancap Barber shop, his show didn't get cancelled. But
any of your sponsors pulled out? As any of your? There you go.
Well, you, Sherry Voluntary, you're the first. No reflection of your show, of course, but yours got cancelled. So why don't you tell us how you migrated from having being more successful?
Tell us about your cans.
Yeah. Right. Let's have the story of your.
I mean, they're lovely. They're really lovely, even in the summer, the winter. Fall, spring,
spring, summer, and fall. All you gotta do is call. Yeah. I love that song.
3 beers now. So, okay. So tell us why you got canned.
Well, it was money. You know, those capitalist pigs.
No, you were canceled after his episode.
Who's? Oh, that's right.
That's why you got canceled.
I was canceled after your episode.
Oh, it was my fault.
It's your fault.
You know,
Yeah.
now that you've told me that
It
just
could've
makes
been-
me so happy.
It could have
It's
been
my
calling out
fault. It's so good to
What
know
what is
that
it
it's all my
exactly
fault.
that he forced you to say? Because obviously, being a woman, you have no agency. So,
Right.
what did this man force you to say?
He came on my show and took all my agency. I couldn't speak for myself anymore because he was mansplaining that procrastination.
Yeah. Mansplaining, man-spreading, man
China.
Man dying in wars. Man working.
down. Yeah.
Right.
Come on, what is it? What is it you said?
Why did you get sacked?
They say it was because of money. That was a time slot that was difficult to sell ads for. So they went to a nationally syndicated show, like some fucking conservative cunt that they have. It was a conservative talk radio show for one. And we were calling out the cops every day, and some by name. I called out the sheriff by name on
that
air.
was really edgy.
Well done.
But do you know what the great thing that came from it is? The great thing that came from it is you now have the Sherry Voluntary Show. And anyone that's listening to the live stream and is enjoying the lovely Sherry Voluntary can find, so you hate the lovely because it's just the stereotypical thing that a man said. See me being so patriarchal and using it's like the see, whenever you have a female guest, it's always the lovely. So, so I better check your, what's it called?
Vagina that is coming on our show tonight. Say hello to the lovely. And she's like a 700-pound hag with a big, huge mole and hair, you know.
Well, I mean, look, Sherry, you're not a 10, but I wouldn't just go as far as to describe you as a hag or anything like that. Right
back at you.
Sherry, where do you want me to put this? It's your choice after those comments. Okay?
In front of the camera. We can't see.
Whoa.
Comes back on screen with half of his
Allow
scalp.
me to plug one more time. Oh, Jesus, now I just fucking look mentally ill. Are they going to shave me down to a mohawk?
Have you seen that American Horror Story, that show?
Is that what I look like? Look at that. What the fuck hairstyle are you giving me? What the fuck, man?
I think we've reached a part where you could actually stop now. And it would be better. That's an upgrade.
You've got the left anarchist haircut now.
I'm just gonna get on a motorbike. I might dye the screen, and then it's gonna be Mad Max type situation. So one last plug: the Sherry Voluntary Show. It's relatively new. About how many episodes have you run?
I think I'm at 12 or 13 now.
12 or 13. Have you uploaded any of your favorite episodes from your last show to the new live stream?
I don't know.
How about the one that got you fired? How about the one with
me? Do that for me.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Why are you...
Dude, you're actually going to look really good with your head shaved.
Am I?
I think so. Yeah.
What's the vote? Am I going to look good?
Oh. Am I going to look good?
Am I going to look good? Right. Look, it's time for the 5-minute... Sorry, I just need to...
He's starring in Last of the Mohicans Part 2.
It's that time again. It's time for the 5-minute debate.
Chingak Chuk.
Okay. What?
You're going from like a anarcho-primitivist to like alt-right. In the screen, you know?
That's just all right by me. All right by me.
You're a libertarian.
I'm not sure how I feel about it.
We're going to a national anarchists meeting at the end of this month. He's going to go down a storm.
The kids are all right.
Yeah, give them the hair. They'll probably recycle it, like make clothes out of it or something. They've probably got something to do with that, you know.
Oh wait a minute! Listen, you know Anthony's Jewish. You know, you can't be making jokes about recycling his hair.
Check your privilege.
I actually did suggest tonight that he should wear a pair of striped pajamas. But
he always takes it too far. He always takes it too far.
Well, make sure you finish it up with a shot of you in the shower, getting your hair.
Yeah, the thing is, I've got one of those showers that if you turn the dial one way, you get cold, and if you turn it the other way, you get water. And I just have nightmares where one arrow points to water and the other arrow points to gas, and I get it mixed up somehow. Okay, this isn't even funny. This is just saying things for the sake of being controversial. Someone is going to get hurt. That's certainly true. So, but we've not decided whether it's going to be Owen or Chris Stefanick. It's time for the 2-minute, 3-minute debate. You each get 30 seconds to, first of all, you have to present the case for being a carnist.
We haven't heard much
Chris.
For a while.
From Simeon.
Yeah, we should get some more from Simeon, I think.
Simeon, have you gone vegan?
No, I tried it, but I didn't want to eat soy because of the estrogen thing.
Oh.
The gay frog.
Yeah, and core wasn't filling, so I went to a ketogenic thing. I'm trying to reduce meat, but
Simeon hasn't had a piece of pizza in like 3 years.
Sorry?
Simeon hasn't had a piece of pizza in like 3 years.
I cheated a few months ago and had some pizza, but I eat so few carbs that it's been a few years now.
Owen, I've got an ethical question for you. 2 of my vegan friends took me to the back of the bins behind Waitrose. Yes, we did it. We skipped, and there was a whole pile.
Freeganism.
There was a whole pile of perfectly good pizzas, which we availed ourselves from.
Yeah.
And we ate. Is our action ethically neutral, ethically negative, or ethically positive? We saved those from a landfill.
It's ethically, I'd say, either neutral or positive.
Okay.
But it's obviously not vegan.
Right.
Yeah. The only distinction that really needs to be drawn, it's just like, yeah, you're eating food that would be wasted otherwise. It's a good thing in general.
Well, that's what we kind of thought, which is why we ate the damn pizzas.
Yeah, eat the damn pizzas. If they're going in the bin, fucking right. If they're going in the bin, like the burger in the That Guy Tea debate had to go in the bin. So I just want to, rub some salt in that wound. You had to bin that.
Why not?
But I don't want to treat you like a one-trick pony either, Owen, because I know that you're a multi-dimensional, multifaceted being with
like a Swiss Army knife.
Yeah, with several strings to your bow. So what else is of deep interest to you? What's going on in Owen's world?
That's an interesting question, isn't it? Quite a lot is going on in my world, to be fair. A bit too much sometimes. So
okay.
Yeah,
I noticed a bottle of what looks like red wine behind you.
Yeah,
isn't there stuff? Right? What's in? I know a lot of vegans and vegetarians have a beef with red wine. What's in that, or what can be in red wine that could be offensive?
I'm not sure about red wine. I know that some beer has like fish organs in it, so like there's a processing agent. So it's not in the ingredients. But it's a processing agent that they use to filter something.
Anyway,
yeah.
Sorry. So back to the what else is burning your toast, or what else is on top of your agenda to attack?
What would you like to enlighten the world?
Well, my main 2 things are peaceful parenting and veganism, and I think those 2 things are kind of consistent with libertarianism. It's sort of like how I root most of my thinking, is just on the basic principle of like do unto others. And
what's the most retarded comment you've ever received on your YouTube channel?
Oh God, there's so many.
Can you give us the rundown of the top 5? Or some of the funny ones. You must remember some of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think because I know there's some real doozies on there.
Why don't you move to Somalia?
What you'll be kicking yourself. You'll be kicking yourself later, Owen, when you remember all the funny comments.
Did you come from a peaceful parenting background, or was it a violent parenting background that you came from?
Oh yeah, it wasn't peaceful parenting.
Okay.
Yeah, quite.
Was it right out of order, or was it what you would call normal in an old school sense?
Right, I know what you mean.
Right.
I'd say, yeah, quite a lot of it was, out of order. It was,
Right.
Yeah, but it's, that stuff's always complicated. But no, it wasn't peaceful parenting, by any stretch of the imagination. Sort of, that's a lot of the reason why I sort of focus on that stuff, because it's.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is, one of the things that compelled me is that, Stefan Molyneux, the Mark I, before his 2013 transformation into Stefan Molyneux Mark II, used to talk a lot about focusing on what you can change in your own life. And one of the things he talked about where you could change was the way that you parented, right? And that was in your control. And forget about politics. Of course, he's all about the politics now. And don't get me wrong, I still think I dip into him, and I still think he occasionally produces some work that's brilliant, and he certainly helps bring facts to people. But his focus has changed, and when I was in that community, more involved in that community, I was surprised at how dismissive he was of animals as an ethical issue. Because I'm going to get you in on this, Chris, soon. Because it is something that people can make a choice about. Like, you can choose to eat them or not eat them. And also, from what I hear, when he did some research for one of his videos, he had to watch footage of slaughterhouses and promptly became a vegetarian. He said he didn't eat much meat anyway, but he became a vegetarian after seeing the videos of slaughterhouses because he said he couldn't conscience it anymore. And this is going back like it must have been like 8 years or something like that, 7, 8 years. I lose track of time. So given that he had a personal conversion, it's interesting that he didn't want to make more of an issue on it in the show. And it's one of these things where, like, I don't think Tam will mind me saying this, right, but he's a Christian. And I thought about that too, because we sometimes talk about religion and how, like, religion spreads, and usually it's like Christianity is a very successful religion. In my view, is very successful because you can basically read anything into it. If you want a punishing God, there's plenty of that in the Old Testament, and if you want a nice guy God, there's plenty of that in the New Testament. But I think that when I asked him why he ate meat, he said, well, because I think it fundamentally comes down to because my Lord didn't say it was wrong. My Lord ate meat. And I was like,
Adam and Eve were vegetarians.
But Adam and Eve were vegetarians. But I don't think that Christianity would have been a successful religion if it commanded people not to eat meat, because it just was not saleable to the public of the time. And I'm wondering, well, it's not a case with Stefan Molyneux, because he actually will just say whatever he thinks, and he doesn't really give a fuck what other people think of him, which I really admire him for. But it's the kind of thing that people would shy away from because it's going to limit the size of your audience, because it challenges people. Like, the #1 taboo on television is you. Like, you can insult politicians and bankers, and people think that information is being repressed, and to a degree it is in mainstream media. But the one thing you can't talk about on TV is people's own personal habits, how they should parent, how they should treat each other, whether the ethical nature of them, I don't know, putting their kids in official institutions and blah, 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 blah. So I've said loads of shit, and
time to put it out
time to put it out.
Speaking of peaceful parenting, I need to go do a little peaceful parenting of my own, but it's been fun, Anthony. Thanks for inviting me on. You're looking good, man. Can't wait to see this product.
I thought you were going to contribute to the. I thought you were going to give the.
You thought I was going to contribute? I've been carrying this show. Are you fucking kidding me?
I thought you were going to.
You're not. It's gonna just fall apart now that I drop off. But sadly,
I thought you were going to give the definitive case for carnism.
You're just gonna have to come back.
There is no case. My
conversations and
case
check it out
is
sometime.
I like meat. Yeah,
Right.
That's my case. I know it's not a moral case, but anyway.
But you know, pedophiles like touching children.
I'm sure in Anarcho-capitalist.
Right. All right. Well, looking good, Anthony. Can't wait to see the finished
There.
product.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Thanks for coming, Chris. Really appreciate you being
Absolutely.
here.
It's been fun.
Thank
We'll
you.
see ya.
It's been loads of fun. And then there were. Do you know what? We've not heard from Scott for fucking ages.
Yeah.
I actually have something to say.
Yeah. Whoa! There's a child in the room. We have
Yeah.
to. Yeah.
It's okay. I have a dynamic mic, so maybe it won't pick
Okay.
all the people.
Strange question. Is this child? Does the child belong to you, sir?
That one in particular doesn't. The one that was in here before does.
Okay.
But yeah, what I was going to say is, Anthony, I did not realize you were a vegan, so I should probably apologize whenever you came on to my show this past Monday, episode 44 of the Ancap Barbershop, which will be out in the next day.
He's a vegetarian.
No, Anthony's a vegetarian. I'm not. But I did gleefully recount tales from my adolescence about cutting the penis bone out of raccoons on many.
Right.
And that may.
But you know what? You kind of get used to hearing people talk about all of this stuff and acclimatize to it. So that's why I didn't feel the need to point it out particularly.
Right. And I actually was a vegetarian for about 7 years.
Very interesting.
And I was a vegan for about 5 years of that. And I probably would have to concede that if you're being as consistent as possible with the non-aggression principle, I don't know. It's my preference not to apply it to animals, but I don't know. I guess in the future we'll probably get to some point where maybe we hone in on that more. I don't know.
I don't know if any of you remember that. You all know who Paul Weller is, yeah?
Paul Willard?
Paul Weller. He sang the band called The Jam. And then he done his own album. He's done an album called Stanley Road, which is a really good album. I was never into him when he was in the Jam and stuff like that. But anyway, he was a vegetarian for like 20 years or something, and then he went back to eating meat. And like somebody in an interview asked him, like, what gives? You were a vegetarian for 20 years. Why did you go back to eat meat? He said, this is his word, like, quite frankly, because 20 years I was fucking starving. But I mean, that's, I don't know, right? Yeah, that was his point of view. But
Sherry was raw for a bit. Well, I mean, what do you even say to that?
Raw for a bit?
Sorry, Sherry just sent a message into the private chat for Hangouts saying, I think what she meant is she pursued a raw diet, but
okay.
I mean, on a podcast like this to use those
Thanks for making it public, though. I appreciate that.
I think the thing that you miss is I've had that many beers that if I say it, I see it. If I didn't see it, I wouldn't have said it.
Is it me? Do you think he's actually looking younger by the minute?
I did not dig the skullet, I have to say.
Yeah, that's going to go. That's gonna, use your imagination is going. You know?
Well, if Sherry didn't like it, then I guess that I just need to get rid of it, right? Well, I'm having second thoughts about getting rid, because anything that Sherry likes.
Let's bring another bald guy into the conversation here. When did you decide to give up the ghost?
But before you
a
little bit more.
What?
Before he tells us.
Okay, before you hold that thought, and we're going to shave a little bit more off of Anthony here.
I am assuming you were talking to me. I don't think anybody else is bald at this point.
Talking, what?
Yeah, we are talking to you. Sorry, I was just told to keep going. No. What were you going to shave? God damn it. Yo, more here. Okay.
God damn it, that thing's loud. We're
That
gonna
is
wake
loud.
the, we're gonna wake
How's
the
it looking
fucking
now?
neighbours.
So, Sherry, you're fully for the bald and reformed Antony Sammeroff.
Much better.
Much
Only-
better already.
It's got to go. Like, just don't shave the facial hair. Like,
No, of course not.
I'm a
It's the
bearded
standard trick. If you're going balding, you shave your head and grow a goatee.
Just
That
to
makes
show
you,
that you can do it.
that
yeah.
makes you.
I must say, that's a sexy look. The
That's
bald
a
with the
sexy look.
goatee or a
Well,
beard.
yeah.
You know, I like the facial hair. That's my jam. I really like that.
That's your jam. Okay.
You.
Now we know. Now, Scott.
It's so soft and tickly.
I know. Especially. Never mind. I think everyone knows where I was going with that.
Yeah.
So.
It's better than shaven.
I love how even Simeon's face palming at what I just said. The conversation degenerates ad infinitum. Now we
The
were
V
going to.
left because we were talking about eating meat.
Oh no, Owen didn't leave for that reason.
I know.
Anyway, so back to us bald guys. Ricky, what happened? When did you just go bald naturally, or was there some point where you just decided, fuck this shit, I'm gonna do it, and the hair went?
I kind of went the, well, I'm not gonna say I went the Billy Zane route because I didn't immediately start as soon as I started going bald. I also don't.
So just laughing at the kid jumping on the bed. It's just so joyful.
Yeah, I hope they're
it's just so joyous, like
really embarrassing for parenting in general if she fell and busted her head open.
Yeah, well, we don't want that, obviously, but it's
What was the
we have another game.
Bloody hell! It finally worked.
Okay.
Oh, we've got Jeremy on the line.
Yes.
The band.
Right, I just want to put a pin in it.
Oh, and of course now everything freezes.
Jeremy.
Go.
And because I'm not really sure if I got the full story on Scott.
Yeah.
On when Scott gave up on having hair.
So I actually probably started going. Okay. This is weird for a guy that was it's from Huntsville and was a vegan for 5 years. I actually had dreadlocks whenever.
That's really interesting.
You were a Trustafarian.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah,
no.
I've searched for my MySpace and I can't find it, but if you could, you will find a lot of Bob Marley pictures and things.
Yeah.
Like that. But I started going bald at a pretty young age, and I
Never trust the bald barber.
Or I'm trying to think of something insulting for Jeremy, a dog walker that lives in a van. Oh, that was not difficult at all. That came right to me. But I about the time I cut the dreadlocks, I was like, oh man, my hair is about all gone, and I rocked it for a couple of years, and I think I had shorter hair, within the past couple of years, and then somebody took a picture of the top of my head and showed it to me, and I was like, okay, yeah.
That was kind of the thing that drove me over the edge. It's like I saw a picture of behind, and I could deal with the skullet, as Sherry so diplomatically, and don't get me wrong, you were, oh, I love it when you blow me kisses, darling. It wasn't the first time I've heard the term.
It'd be good if that just drops out. I was gonna love it when you blow me. So sorry, I'm going
we'll have a vote over who's the most degenerate. But yeah, it was like, it's the back. You don't see the back of your head, and I'd seen it once a couple of years ago and saw it thinning out, and I was like, oh, that's pretty bad. Like, and I thought of cutting it then, and I have been putting it off for 2.5 years. I've wanted to do it, but it was when I put up that rap video of me doing the Money song. Some of you might have heard of it. I know that Sherry has. Make them money, make them money. How
that never won a mobile award, I have no fucking idea.
When I turned away from the camera, and I saw the back of my head, I was like, I actually went into a depression spiral. Not that's to exaggerate the fact, but I was just like, oh, so depressed. So I was like, okay, let's do this as quickly as possible. And a couple of nights I I like washed my hair properly, and I was looking all nice in the mirror, and I was like, I'm really gonna miss this hair. But Scarlett is as Scarlett does, so I can still act exactly the same, and it doesn't really matter if you've got the Scarlett on the outside, as long as you got the Scarlett on the outside. Right.
Oh, man.
Don't you want this bit here?
Jeremy,
Anthony, you're
thank
looking
you for
great.
joining us. Yeah, we're getting rid of it bit by bit.
I would have been here sooner, but I had technical difficulties up the wazoo, man.
You even got a proper microphone. You look like you're on location for us. Like,
I am on location.
Okay, what are you reporting on?
He is all about anarcho. What is it? What's the
Anarcho-fascism?
No, it's the
no.
Vanarchy.
Vanarchy, baby. I am a van nomad.
Right, he is a van nomad. He was unceremoniously kicked out of the homeland, much like my people were. Except for just on the individual, not group level. He was kicked out on his ear, and now he tours in his van, making everyone smile except for himself. Tell us about your shows and where we can find them if we want to follow them up.
Oh, yes. Well, my shows are all over the place. I'm a little
Kelsey
discombobulated right
awesome.
now, but most of the stuff I do, the Seeds of Liberty podcast and Anarcho-Abolitionist, they're my two shows. You can find all that stuff at solpodcast.org. And then I also do the Freedom Fiends, and I'm a Lolbert. So I do podcasting pretty much nonstop.
Why do you do so many podcasts? Do you not understand that there's some of us here, not naming names, but me, Sherry, Stephen, and Owen, all of whom want people to listen to our shows. And the more shows that you put out, the less time you have to listen to our shows.
How about a little bit of equal distribution
here? I think that it's about time for you to just slow the fuck down.
Stop showing people your fucking crotch.
Right? A bottle opener, you fag. Oh, are we allowed to say fag? Oh, well, I've offended people already. Okay.
Oh, that's all right.
So, Jeremy.
Yes, Anthony.
You had me on Seeds of Liberty. It seems like I've been.
Jeremy spoke in class.
Jeremy has spoken. Jeremy has spoken many times and heard that joke.
All right, listen. I'm old enough. I'm old enough that song came out when I was in school.
Right. Okay.
If people weren't afraid of me before that song came out, they definitely were afterwards because they just assumed I was going to be the next. They assumed I was going to go Columbine before Columbine happened because
Right, but they beat you to it. So when you don't want to, it's boring after a while.
Right. So.
Yes.
You just are just a libertarian podcast whore. Let's face it. There's no really way around that fact.
Pretty much, yeah.
When it comes back to it, you're not even a libertarian podcast whore. You run the brothel from which the libertarian podcasts are whores.
He's a pimp, actually.
You're the pimp. You're Seeds of Liberty, anarcho-abolitionist, whatever the fuck that means, right? You even make up names for podcasts that make other people who might want to listen to those podcasts feel frankly stupid because we don't know what the names of the podcasts mean. How did you become such a man about town in libertarian podcast circles?
A boulevardier.
I don't even know what that means.
It's French. It's a winky way of saying man about town. Yeah.
Oh yeah. The Seeds of Liberty was my first project, and I had never podcasted before. My buddy Dave, who I still do the show with, we've changed co-hosts multiple times since then, but him and I are still there. And he asked me to do a podcast with him, and I said I've never done a podcast. He said I don't care. You want to do it? He's like, I like your voice. You want to do a podcast? I said great, and I did that. And then because of that, I got invited to be on the Freedom Fiends radio show. Because the man who runs that show heard my stuff and said he liked my voice and wanted me on the radio. So I said, sure, I'll do. I get to be on the radio, okay. And then my solo show, Abolition Abstractions, I started because I do love my co-hosts, but they drive me batty a lot of the times, and I like to have.
I wonder. Yeah,
you guys wouldn't know anything about that, right?
I've never had any problems with any of my co-hosts ever. Like, I feel like I achieve a greater level of harmony in my life through having a co-host.
When do we actually all think we're going to reach peak podcasting? Like everybody is going to be on everybody else's podcast, except one guy. One guy somewhere who's going to be watching it all.
There is. I know that there is someone that has been on pretty much everyone's podcast. I can't possibly mention who that might be.
He hasn't even mentioned Tom Woods yet. Have you been in Tom Woods' podcast?
Now that you mention it, I think that I was on there 3 times in less than a year. Oh my god!
Oh yes, we know, Mr. Show Off.
Mr. Right, yeah. So Jeremy, yes. So what do you do on your solo show that's different from your co-hosted shows?
Well, the solo show started as just it was really just supposed to be me recording myself as I walked around doing my dog, running my dog business, because I would run into all these stupid things about government. Just stupid laws, stupid regulations, stupid like government failing ridiculously. So I was like, oh, I could record while I'm out here walking around and kind of talk about that. And then I did that sporadically for a year or so. And then after, like I said, I love my co-host, but there was a lot of conversations we had with people, a lot of guests we had on that.
So your co-host's a dog, right?
Yeah. Well, right now, my co-pilot's a dog, but
right, cool. Can we have a look at the co-pilot?
But
hey, murder dog, you awake?
So do you cover the?
She's passed out cold in the back. She's like, screw you
guys. Do you basically cover the topic du jour, like the news? Do you cover philosophy? Do you cover economics? What's your shtick?
Well, for that show, I really don't. That show, it kind of morphed into me just having conversations with people because, like I said, we had some great guests on the Seeds of Liberty over the years.
We've been doing that recently on that show.
Yes, you were. We just put that one out. I tagged you in it. I don't recall you liking it though, sir.
I did like
or sharing it. Damn you!
I liked it in my heart. Why does everyone refer to me? Sorry. Before you go on, Jeremy, I have to interrupt you because we have a special request from one of our most faithful viewers, and that is Blazing Stars, and he simply insists on seeing what Tam looks like with my hair on his head. Okay, it's absolutely necessary. What do you think?
That's a good look.
I think that's a good look.
I think you know what, man? You pull that off.
As long as that's all he pulls off.
That's been excellent. I fucking love that.
You look like a washed-up version of David Wolf. I don't know if anyone's seen that. You really do.
It's funny that you should mention David Wolf because I thought you were trying to do brand differentiation. And you were like, no, I'm not like that guy. If anyone who doesn't know, he was a raw food activist that is.
If only I ever looked that good with hair. Yeah, maybe we would have kept it.
Can we try other hairstyles with Tam now? Welcome to another exciting episode of Other Hairstyles with Tam. How does he?
Oh, that's great.
Is that the curly Jewish side button going on?
He's got a Jewish thing going on.
Yeah, there's some. What do you call those things? You should know.
Hey, if you could ball those up a little bit, you might be able to pull off a Princess Leia type thing.
Oh, yeah, okay. Because Star
this is going to be everyone's favorite event of the night. Right?
I'm going to be honest. I look more like Coco the Clown than I look like Pennywise. Yeah, more than I look like fucking. We all float down here. Fuck that. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So
God almighty.
There you go. Okay. So Jeremy, he drives around in a van. He records podcasts. He walks dogs for a living. I mean, talk about fucking privilege. Which one among us would not love the privilege of taking people's dogs on a stroll? I mean, motherfucker. Do you know what I have to do for a living? Do you know what I have to do for a living? I have to listen to people's fucking problems. Okay? This motherfucker gets to walk.
There goes your living, Anthony. Yeah. Everybody you've ever counseled said, "Oh, really? You didn't like listening?"
No, I said that deliberately.
Yeah.
Controversial. Everyone knows I love my job. But do you know what? Counseling puppies. Now, if only puppies had a high disposable income, there might be something to be said for that. And that's why laws against animal labor, as well as child labor laws, are clearly ruining our country. So, abolish all laws, and then yeah.
Have you taken anybody famous's dog for a walk?
I had one of the New York Jets, the football team, Brad
Okay.
Smith, back in the day when he played for them. I walked his dog for about 6 months. I think that was the most famous person I ever had.
6 months, Jesus, that's a hell of a walk.
I know, man. I was fucking tired, but
Where
you
the
know,
fuck did
listen,
you go?
when a millionaire asks you to walk his
tight walk there, like
I saw it coming, but it was still funny.
when a millionaire asks you to walk his dog, man, you fucking do it, all right?
he got his fucking money's worth there.
So what
are you charging them by the mile?
Yeah, exactly.
If you were to encourage our listeners to listen to one episode of one of your show, what would be the definitive introduction to Jeremy Henggeler, whatever you're starting with? Because let's face it, no one can pronounce that shit. Jeremy Henggeler.
Hey,
I'm sure that you can. Go.
Henggeler, Hamburglar, Hangglider, you know. I think somebody referred to me on the radio as Heisen N-word. Well, they didn't say N-word, but I try to be polite.
We get it. Yeah.
Right.
We're in enough trouble as it is. Yeah.
Definitive, man. I don't know. Even though we had to cut it short.
Well, if you don't know, let me answer the question.
I was gonna say your episode from 2 weeks ago, which you couldn't even like and share. But if anybody else wants to check it out,
I totally liked and shared it. One of these days.
So does that vehicle that you're in, does it move? Are you up on blocks? Or
no. This is I'm in a Honda Element, and it definitely moves.
Who knew such a thing existed?
Before we hand it back to Owen and pressure him to say something interesting, at the risk of being mercilessly made fun of if he does not deliver the goods, I would just like to take a moment to get you to tell people about your new project, about telling people how to live the van life, because I'm not sure if anyone listening cares, but
they might after that.
But I care, and that's the important thing, because it is my show.
Well, yeah, as long as you care, Antony, that's all that matters to me, man.
So tell us about teaching people to live out of a van, because that's badass.
Oh yeah, well, I've been doing this for a couple of weeks. I do a daily vlog about it, and I'm chronicling my misadventures out here on the road, and it's been interesting.
And where can people find your daily log of how to live out of a van effectively?
Well,
because at this rate, lots of people are going to be losing their houses and vans because they're just through association with us and the damage to their reputation.
Well, there is actually.
I've already lost a friend through this live stream tonight.
Really?
Yeah.
What did I miss before I got here? Jesus.
Sending me a message how disappointed they are. So let's.
I mean, you think the shaving the head's bad? You know, you don't want to know what we done earlier.
That's true. We started off with. Let's give you a clue. We started from the ankles and worked up.
So is that? Are you saving that for the Patreon content? Is that for the only?
There was something that happened midway. If you don't mind me using a term most ambiguously. In the sense that it's both midway through the live stream and my midriff. I just thought I'd labour that point. That not everyone, some people took objection to it because they were jealous, other people because they couldn't have it, and most of all, I took objection to it because now my balls are bald, and no one ever needs to experience that. The feeling of wind on their balls, like no one needs to know what that feels like. We can have an open window policy. Anyone can come in the window at any time.
The top's going to be the last bit to go.
Now I'm going to have a mohawk.
Yeah. Cool.
See, I think you should have got in reverse. I think you should have started with the top and then left the sides and kind of done like the Gallagher thing. And
you know
then,
what? Maybe if you turned up to the fucking live stream in time, you would have had a say on the matter. But no.
Listen, I tried, man. I tried. I really did. I was actually sitting here for a good 45 minutes.
You know what? I'm sorry, we're libertarians, not socialists. You don't get a medal for trying.
Yeah, that's all right. I made it, right?
I don't care. You made it.
Some people like Danilo Cuellar aren't even gonna make it. So you know what? At least I got here.
I know. Where the fuck is Danilo? I mean,
Danilo is at Chess Club right now.
Oh my god, he missed this for Chess Club.
That's what I fucking said to him. I'm like, dude, really?
Who doesn't grow out of that when they're 14? Unless you're like a fucking grandmaster.
Why are we even name dropping him? Why are we even giving the dignity of having him mentioned in this momentous occasion? Not to mention fucking Daniel Elwood and those other people from Actual Anarchy. I mean, who do these people think they are, right? So,
yes,
I love this little bit.
Who do we fucking? What's with this? Who's got something to say? Sherry, you've been chomping at the bit. I see you reacting to everything but saying nothing. Oh, she looks so nice when she laughs and smiles. It's so patriarchal how I only ever compliment her on this live stream.
Yeah, but you know, I'm not a 10, Anthony. So.
I remember that.
I know my place.
Oh, you're gonna bring that up. You're gonna bring that up. You're gonna bring that up. How long was that ago? Anyone else would have let. Anyone else would have let it go. But
that was like what 10 minutes ago.
You had to rake. You always see. This is what I hate about women. They always have to rake up the past. A dispute isn't just about a dispute. It's about everything else ever. And this is that. Out of everything I've said to you today, the one thing you remembered was the
wasn't a 10.
Passive comment that you're not a 10. Well, do you know what, darling? You're always a 10 to me. Now
he meant you were an 11. You were an 11.
Oh, I should have gone with your thing. Yeah, totally what he said. 11,
he was talking about dress sizes.
Oh.
I know. Okay.
Are you calling me fat?
That one went down like a lead balloon. I can't actually believe that.
No, you said you're not a 10. You could be like an 8 or a 7. I have no idea. I'm a bloke. I have no idea about fucking women's sizes. I
don't even know how to fucking dress myself. I'm wondering if I should do the Japanese thing.
Just walk away from this. Walk away. You're gonna get a
take a shovel off.
You know the Japanese just have a ponytail at the back. Maybe I should have gone
to the vegan. He's been feeding his brain appropriately, so he's thinking clearly, whereas you two drinking all your booze over there.
Yeah, just walk away. You can't dig out of that hole.
It's going to end badly.
The thing is, it will no doubt end badly for me. But, you know, you said you didn't want to be treated. Well, I don't know. You're right.
No,
you're
no.
Right.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
You're just right. I can't remember what I was going to say. So, yeah. Do you know who is a 10? Me with bald hair.
Bald hair.
Your hair is bald, Anthony.
Right, my hair is very bald. My hair is very. I'm getting there. Do you know what? I'm starting to get used to it. I'm going to need to consult myself for therapy after the trauma of cutting my own hair. I'm going to be like sitting on this side of the couch. So, Anthony, what is it like to use your hair? And we're like, I feel like it's the end of an era. It's the end of an age. I mean, I've had it for 15 years. It's like, yeah, that is really hard for you, Anthony. Yeah. I just feel like I'm falling into a deepening. I fucked it with the microphone. A deepening of the present moment and all that life as of man with no hair on his head and tail.
You know what you need? You need to sort yourself out. Like that's
that's good. That's good. That's to get the Jordan Peterson reference.
That's out. Yeah, you need to sort
yourself out.
Yeah, exactly.
Sort yourself out, eh?
Yeah,
well, I did tidy my room yesterday, but it's a mess again today. So this is one of the things that Jordan Peterson. I feel like there's a gap. I feel like there's a gap in the market left by Jordan Peterson because he does assiduously instruct us on how to tidy a room, but he does not instruct us on how to maintain the tidiness of the room. And that's where I think that my niche will be. Like, I'm going to break into the self-help YouTube market, and I'm going to say, not tidy. No. Wait, Sherry, you just hold that thought. Right? Tidy your room. That's like 2017, right? The future is. Wait.
Tidy your room a bit.
Excuse me. The future is.
A
You're
bit.
such a bitch. You're such a little bitch.
Hoover it. Hoover your room.
No.
Right.
This is.
Pick your socks up.
Fuck off! Right. You've heard tidy your room before. Are you going to interrupt me again?
Yeah, why not? Go for it.
No, you guys are going to be like, this is good.
Oh, did I ruin the joke? Or was it pick your socks
This
up?
is going to be this is going to be a watershed moment. And
at least take the crusty bits.
No,
of
and the
tissue
psychological development of humanity, you went from Freud to Jung. Now you're going from JP to AS, right?
Is that ass?
Jordan
ASSHON.
Anthony Sammeroff.
So we're going from Jordan Peterson says tidy your room. Antony Sammeroff says keep your room tidy.
It's I can feel your niche for after that.
What's that?
It's stop being a pussy.
Stop being a pussy.
Yeah.
Is it who's this advice aimed at?
That's actually excellent advice.
That's great advice. That's the only advice in life. Is you're crying, you fell down to your kids.
Stop it.
Yeah,
Stop it.
Stop it. Yeah. Stop it.
You
Yeah.
can't
that is. I don't actually. I don't want
that's toxic masculinity. Manulinity. Toxic manulinity. Man up. Man up.
Man
Why
up.
are you still crying?
Right. Man up. Why are you crying? Yeah. I love that, Karen Strawn.
I'm going to go to the list. So Tom's going to have to host the show, and he's great at that.
No, I'm terrible. That's why.
Let's talk about Twan.
Talk about who?
Antony Twan.
Yeah. I'm glad. Let's all talk about him because he's gone to the bathroom. Yeah.
What will he shave next? Maybe that's what
I don't even want to think about that. Yeah. I think he's actually probably done that already. No, he's a hairy man. You know, he's. I mean, I think I'm quite a hairy man, but he's actually hairy. I mean, he's got hair places that you didn't even think was possible. Yeah, right on the end of that thing, you go like, what? Why is there hair there? Who needs that?
Yeah.
Guys shaving his eyeballs in the morning and shit. You know?
Yeah. Shaving his shit, even his actual shit. Like.
It comes out covered in hair.
Speaking of hair, you guys have heard of Bezoar, right?
Of what?
A Bezoar?
A Bezoar?
I don't know what that is.
That's when you have like a ball of hair in your body. Like that people who eat their hair or...
okay. I've never heard the term, but okay.
So like a fur ball, basically, that a cat would cough up, that kind of thing.
Yes, but people don't cough them up, right? So to get this hair, you have to have it surgically removed. Big ball of hair.
Hi there, kiddies. Daddy's home.
Yeah, let's stop that conversation now because Anthony's back.
Right,
we were talking about Bezoars.
Bezoar. What is a Bezoar? Please enlighten me.
Bezoar is like
it's all right, they're vegan. You'll be allowed to eat one.
Assuming is this some form of sexual fetish like the furry thing where
no, I'm a freak, but I'm not a hair eating freak, okay?
I think furries might be prone to this though, it would sound like.
Absolutely.
Does anyone in the chat, does anyone who's watching this live want to come into the chat?
I'm going to take some more.
Wait a minute, there's people who are actually still watching this thing?
I'm sick of playing with these fucking hair.
Right, guys. So if anyone who's watching live actually wants to participate in the conversation, now is the time to send me a private message on Facebook and I will send you the link to the Google Hangout.
Anthony, you look like you're about to have brain surgery.
I'm about to have brain surgery. Well, do you know what? They have occasionally thought that I might just be too intelligent, and it's an unfair privilege and advantage, and therefore, in the interest of equality, it might be completely appropriate to remove some of my brain and give the remaining part to Tam, so that all of the hosts of the Scottish Liberty podcast are equally intelligent.
The murderous equity doctrine.
Yeah.
As Jordan Peterson puts it.
How's this? Why is this so? What's happening here? What the fuck? Was it just me getting annoying playing with it?
Yeah.
I couldn't stop playing with it because it was freaking me out. Right, let me just get rid of that. It's happening. Oh,
You're supposed to be comfortable, Anthony. You're supposed to be a little uncomfortable. Wait a minute.
Jesus, that thing's loud.
Like a hedge trimmer.
Okay, enough already.
Okay, we're done. Okay, so where is it going? Now it looks really bad. Like,
really good.
I look better with hair than with just this bit at the top. This bit at the top is the worst bit. Do you know what? I should have just shaved the bit at the top and kept.
No,
that's what I said. You should have started with that. You had the Gallagher thing.
Well, I mean, Jeremy, just because you have more libertarian podcasts than anyone else doesn't mean that you're always right. Well, but you just happen to be in this particular.
No, that doesn't mean that I'm always right. The fact that I'm always right.
The fact that you're always
right.
right. Yeah, I know. I should have seen that coming a mile off. So, but I didn't, which shows that Jeremy Henggeler won. Anthony 0, or if we're going to count podcasts, Jeremy Henggeler 4, Anthony 2.
Holy.
Why did you have to send that to me, Sherry? I mean, really? I can't even share. I could just share screens. I'm just going to share screens. Sorry for anyone who's listening to this, but that's what you get for not paying appropriate attention.
Are you sure you can do this?
I can do this. I can do it. I can do anything I set my mind to.
Okay.
Any single thing. I could be the president of the United States of America if I want.
Oh my God.
Yeah. What the fuck happened there? Was like,
all right, listen. If I had eaten the shrooms that are in the back of my cooler here before you put that up, this whole thing would have taken a much different turn. That was pretty crazy, man.
The infinity thing. The infinity thing always freaks me out as well. I'm trying to redirect myself to the Pinterest that Sherry thought it would be amusing to subject me to. And as a consequence of that, you're all going to be subjected to it.
You had that look going for a minute. Like, that was your...
Right, so this is apparently what Anthony looks like in the eyes of Sherry Voluntary. That's so funny, isn't it? Well, do you know what? You guys laugh up.
Is this bullying?
The fuck up. You just wait to see. You just wait and see. You'll all be sorry. You'll all be sorry. Right, get ready at home for the trippy thing that happens when it goes on forever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever and ever. Right, this is the universe. You're just falling into this tunnel forevermore.
This is the infinity that you're going to see when Google takes over your mind and it has a glitch. And you get lost in.
So what's the news? So if they could put a microchip in you that would allow you to Google things and it would come up in a wee window in front of your right eye, and you could look out your left eye while you Googled, would you get the chip or not? Who would do it? That's a conversation starter. Clearly,
I want a robot voice. That's what I want the chip to make me, a robot voice.
But it would be a sexy Android voice.
I really have a thing for robot voices. Like, you remember on the Transformers with which is the one that had talk like this, like a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica?
Oh yeah, Battlestar Galactica.
That's hot. It's very hot. I like it. So,
you like machinery? Okay.
Just saying. And I think for like aliens, like Darth Maul was super sexy. Like it's a thing.
But
I don't know.
He wasn't in Aliens. He was.
What are you talking about?
Not in Aliens. He was an alien.
He was, but okay, I get it. You like extraterrestrial life forms.
Some of them.
Androids, cyborgs, and Bitcoin enthusiasts. So
Jeffrey Tucker, yes.
Have a
Jeffrey Tucker,
as he's now called. So let's get rid of it. Let's see a little bit more here going. Maybe I'll just. Well, No, I'll do it. Should I go down the middle? Let's just get rid of that motherfucker. Oh my god.
Yeah. Oh no! Just you should have left that. That looked great. You had like two little horns going on.
Oh yeah, I could have done that. Oh no, it's two balls. It's two balls.
Too bald. Let's get the Beck out, man. Come on. Get some shaving cream. Just you know, right down to the skin, man. Right down to the skin. Go big or go home.
Right, okay. So I don't feel like what's this gonna be like? What's it gonna be like?
You still got a little bit there.
Yeah, what's it gonna be like to be out and about with this bald head?
Wear a hat if you're that worried about it.
I'm not worried about it.
You sound worried about it.
Well,
what's it going to be like?
I'm just,
what's it going to be like?
I'm just thinking aloud, you don't need to comment on my.
I kind of do.
You don't need to comment.
Let's get it like.
I'm just trying to assimilate the understanding of this new revelation. What's it going to be like to wake up tomorrow with no hair on my head?
It's kind of going to be like what it was like to wake up this morning, but there's no hair on your head.
Wow, I love how that got such a laugh, and yes, yeah, it was startlingly predictable and unoriginal. Sometimes it's the no-brainers that really get the best reaction, isn't it?
Yeah.
There speaks the voice of bitterness.
Right. Well,
your neck is gonna
be. What are you saying? What are you saying, Sherry?
Your neck is gonna be cold.
Yes. Yeah, he looks like he's had chemotherapy at the moment, but he's. Right,
guys. I don't like these little.
Oh.
Huh?
We'll do it properly in the table.
Starting to look like
Right, so who has what to say? Is this I can't believe I did it. I can't believe I actually did it. It's pretty fucking wild. It was part of my identity.
I think it looks pretty good.
Well, I don't know, man. I mean, from our view, we can see pretty much the finished product. I mean, I know you got some to go on the back, but like from what we can say, I think you're. I mean, honestly, I think you're pulling this off, man. I think you're gonna be all right.
I know I'll pull it off. It's just I did kind of like having a ponytail at the back to play with, but I think I will. Well, put it this way: I don't look shit, which is a bonus. I knew I wouldn't look shit.
I think it does is like brings out your shoulders.
It brings out my shoulders. It brings out the fact that I've been going to the gym. Am I right? So, what do we do? Are we gonna? I think we'll have a little bit of a couple of minutes to let Anthony not have a heart attack and just settle down with friends and adjust to the fact that he's never going to have long hair ever again. And then we'll close out for the evening. It's the end of an era, my friends. Chelsea is all about it. My friend Chelsea Ellen. It looks awesome. Thank you. Well, I knew that you'd think it looks awesome since you've been teasing me about cutting it forever. Blazing Star says, shave our eyebrows and it'll take your mind off your hair. How about fuck right off and suck a dick? How about that for our response? Now, I thought that... I don't know.
Wow. I don't think that was proportional to that comment.
But Sherry, you don't understand. I'm feeling sensitive at the moment. You're seeing the sensitive type. So
you are the sensitive type.
You've seen the Cary Grant version. Now you've got the Jason Ezra Levitt from Third Rock from the Sun version, and now you've
got those flipped.
Right.
The hair was a no-go, man. I'm sorry. I love you.
No. I meant no. I'm glad that you prefer the new me. That's fine. It's just what I was referring to my emotional state when I said.
Nobody cares. Sorry.
Yeah, no one cares about my emotional
smile
state.
on it and move forward.
Yeah. yeah, I'm just moving through all stages of the grieving process. Was it denial, anger? I should fucking know. Yeah. Denial, anger, bargaining. I was
homosexuality.
like, bargaining. I was like, I'll just keep it another month. And finally, I will come through to despair. That's where I am at. And tomorrow, I'll be through to acceptance. So, Owen, when's your live stream to shave your hair?
No, Owen needs to keep his hair.
Right.
Sherry, what about you?
Sherry, what a fucking traitor! Oh, Owen gets to keep his hair, but no, Anthony, yours is terrible.
Owen's look is working for him. Like it's working.
It's working for him. All right,
it's working quite well. But the bald thing is better for you.
No. Okay, it's okay. But do you know what? It's fine because do you know what? I am bald now. So
you were bald before.
We should have turned. That's true. We should have turned this into a fundraiser. And
he is the bald Avenger.
We should have raised cash for lapel mics. What the fuck, man? We could have got lapel mics and everything. People would have parted money for this shit.
What's a lapel mics? A beer?
Lapel mics.
Like a pipe. A mic that goes in the
lavaliers.
Yeah.
They call those in the industry.
He wants to pretend like we're professionals.
Yeah, definitely.
I have a board.
As long as it stays pretend, you know, there are some fantasies that we all have, but just because we have those fantasies doesn't mean we necessarily want them to come true.
That's true.
Well, guys, thank you for being part of my fantasy tonight.
Yeah. Anthony and I have to go and make violent love. Part of the deal that you guys didn't know. Oh, shit, did I say that out loud? Right, okay.
Until next week.
Guys, thanks all for joining us.
Thanks for joining us.
I've enjoyed it immensely.
Thanks to everyone who joined us live, especially that I'm not going to read out the list of special guests because I'll forget someone and that'll just be embarrassing to all involved. Until next week, be libertarians. Don't be a lefty or a righty.